In this video, we're going to learn how to find the area of any triangle, whether or not we know the height, and we're also going to take a look at law of sines. So first of all, here's the area formula for area of any triangle. You need to know two sides and the included angle. So if you remember from geometry, that included angle is the one created by the two sides that you know. And the formula is 1/2 times the two sides times the sine of the angle. Taking a look at our first example, we have two sides that are creating the known angle. So the area of this triangle would be 1/2 times the two sides times the sine of the included angle. Making sure your calculator is in degree mode when you evaluate this. And I got roughly 25.309. And remember, when we label area, it's square units. All right, taking a look at this next example, we have a rhombus. Remember, a rhombus is a shape with 4 congruent sides. So each side has length 12 centimeters. And one of the angles is 72, so that would be the smaller angle. To find the area of the entire rhombus, we'll cut it into two triangles that are both 12 by 12 with a 72-degree included angle. So we have the area of the rhombus. There are two triangles that would be 1/2 times the sides times the sine of the included angle. And I got roughly 136.952, again, square centimeters. All right, the first part we are being asked to find here is the area of the triangle. So that would be 1/2 times the two sides times the sine of the included angle, which would give us roughly 71.616 square meters. The second piece is asking us to find the altitude of the triangle. So this is when we'll use the traditional area formula, equals 1/2 base times height. So we know the area. We know the base is 17, and we'll solve for the height. So 1/2 of 17 is 8.5. Dividing both sides by 8.5, we get roughly 8.425 meters for the height of our triangle. And now we're going to take a look at law of sines. Hopefully you guys are familiar with law of sines from Algebra 2 or previous math courses. So it says that the ratio of a side and the sine of the angle across from it is proportional to all of the other ones. So the side over the sine of the angle across from it, and the side over the sine of the angle across from it. So this also gives you a hint when law of sines is appropriate. If you know two angles and one side, or two sides and a non-included angle. All right, taking a look at our first example, we're looking for the length of BC. So we have two angles and one side. We'll take the sine of 29. I learned this with the sine in the numerator, so that's just what I default to. You can flip the ratios however you choose to over the side across from it, and that will be equal to the sine of 47 over the side across from it. So once you have a proportion, you can cross multiply. So we have x times the sine of 29 equals 5.6 times the sine of 47. Dividing both sides by the sine of 29. Be careful with rounding error. A lot of students will want to type in 5.6 times the sine of 47, and then type in the sine of 29 and use the decimals. But if you type all of this into your calculator, you'll get the most exact answer with the least amount of rounding error. And I got a side length of roughly 8.448. Labeling our units, each side was centimeters. All right, last example, we're going to take a look at solving for an angle. This time we're looking for angle ACB. This notation here is international notation for an angle. Notice they have kind of a little hat above the C. That means that's the angle that we're looking at. So this time we have sine of C over side across from it is 15 equals the sine of 37 over the side across from it. This time, instead of cross multiplying, I'm just going to multiply by 15 because I want to get C alone, and C is already in a numerator. So again, a lot of students here will want to find a decimal, and that leads to rounding error. Your calculator can handle all of this at once. To solve for C, we're going to use the inverse. And type all of this in just as you see it. Because what's inside the parentheses is all multiplying and dividing, you don't need extra parentheses in the numerator. Some calculators automatically come up with a parenthesis for sine, so you would have to close that before you divide, but other than that, no extra parentheses are necessary. So for my angle, I got 26.831 degrees. All right, so your assignment is due at some point before Friday. Probably Wednesday night, I will enter that as missing just as a reminder to get it done before Friday, but I will not count it late.